Welcome to Network Society Ventures. My name is David Orban, and this is Network Society Ventures Pitching Live. Network Society Ventures Pitching Live gives the opportunity to startups to pitch a venture firm in a live streaming setting, a startup pitch competition of one. Here is how it works. We listen to the startup for 15 minutes, giving their startup presentation pitch, their project, using their pitch deck. And after that, we follow with 15 minutes of questions. The audience is welcome to ask questions as well. I will select them and show them on screen in the second part of the presentation, if appropriate. After half an hour, we will not necessarily declare a winner because, of course, in order to secure an investment from a venture firm, much more is also required. But all of you, as well as me, will have a first opportunity to understand what a startup and its project are about. Are you ready? Today's startup is Next Future Transportation with Tommaso Gecchelin. Welcome, Tommaso, to Network Society Ventures Pitching Live.
Thank you very much, David. It's an honor to be here.
All right. So let's move right away to the first part. You have 15 minutes. I will give you the stage with your presentation shared together with our viewers, and I will exit the stage. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. So this that you see in this image, it's what we think about the future of land transportation. It's one vehicle, as you see, it's modular. One vehicle to roll them all. Why? Because this vehicle, it's not just a self-driving electric car. This is a modular system. It's a vehicle that does not do what humans are already capable to do, so self-driving, but it's capable to do what no human are capable to do, of connecting together. And let's see here what they do. They are a cabin with the 6 seats inside, but they can carry also cargo. This video, it's real, what we did in Padua. It's running on a public road. And this is in Dubai. These are the 2 vehicles that we sold to the city of Dubai. This is a virtual reality simulation that we use to understand the user experience and improve it, because this is the most important part of the trip, when you shift from one cabin to the other. The empty vehicle undock because now it can go to pick up other people. It's very flexible. It's short as a smart, but it's large and tall as a bus, as a city bus. So here you see what kind of problems we are trying to solve with this solution. So first of all, the traffic. This solution, even with just a single person inside, can save up to 60%. When you put more people inside this vehicle, for example, due to en-route transfer, that's when the vehicle dock together and allow the people to move between them, you can reach 80% to 90% less traffic. Of course, you can cut pollution because all the vehicles are electric vehicles, battery powered, and with the battery swap, it's much easier to implement this inside the city. A big problem of buses and cars, it's underutilization. Even if a city have a big fleet of cars, taxi, and buses, and most of the time they are used just 20% occupancy rate. With this system, it's always useful, and you will see better in the next slide how I do it. And it's generally inconvenient to use public transportation because you waste a lot of time, because you need to go to the station, you need to go to the bus stop, and then you do multiple stops before being to your necessary stop. This system is very flexible, and let me show you why. This is the reason why. This vehicle, we can call it the wild card of transportation, because you can use it as a single unit in the form of a taxi or private car or a shared car. If you dock together two units, it's like a minibus with a capacity of 20 people. If you put 4 units together, start become similar to a traditional city bus, so with 40 people inside, 50, 60, 70, 80 people inside. It's like a 80 meters bus. In the cargo side, you can use it during the day for both. So out of the peak time for people, you can use these vehicles as a cargo, the dispatchment system. So you can go from a minivan to a general bigger van to an entire truck made of units that can undock when they go close to the city, and they can deliver the goods to the single houses. This is the most important part that I briefly showed you in the video before, but it's the fact that make the modularity very, very important. Why? Because generally bus connections and bus stops are something that have what we call in transportation system a very high cost of friction. So in general terms, it means that for the passengers, this is a very, very stressful thing to do, to basically go out of a vehicle, try to understand what's the next bus to take or the next metro to take, and then take the other bus. With this system, the friction cost of interchanging between two vehicles, it's dropped to zero, because you just need to move 2 meters, really, physically 2 meters from your vehicle to the vehicle that you have in front of you without going out of the vehicle, without even stopping the vehicle themselves. When we do this, we can do a lot of stations, real-time generated stations that are basically just vehicles that dock together between the origin and the destination. So you can switch the people, as you see here, between the vehicles to redistribute them depending on the destination they need to go. It's tricky to understand this passage, but in terms of user experience, it's very, very straightforward. And based on the studies that New York University has done in parallel, studying our algorithm and our system, this can cut the total distance traveled by the entire fleet of vehicles by 60%. What does it mean? This means that you save a lot of money because you can move many, many more people with the same amount of vehicle, up to 3 times the people that you move with a traditional ride-hailing system like taxi on demand or Uber, for example. As I was telling you before, the same thing can happen for goods. So you can redistribute the goods. So not only change the capacity of the system or change the role of the vehicles during the time of the day, but you can also switch the packages between the vehicles. This will allow for something like this in this video. So let me take out the sound and let me explain it to you. So this first part of the video, it's something that you probably already know because it's something that it works inside the automatic warehouses like Amazon is doing, for example. But after you leave the warehouse today, it's very, very difficult to redistribute the packages between the main truck and the local delivery vans. In this case, we do something different. So we start directly from the main warehouses. We dock together multiple, let's say, small delivery trucks, but instead of going out with many vans, you just go out with the main truck made of these modular sections. So when you approach a local area where you need to dispatch these packages, they dock together. The robotic shelf system inside redistributes the packages to the shuttle unit, and undocking the unit that you have on the back of the main truck, you can deliver the package directly to the final user. And this is completely touchless. So also in terms of, for example, the pandemic situation that we live today, this is something that it's really game-changing in terms of the safety of the service, the delivery service that it delivers. You see, then they can swarm and generate the delivery. Last but not least, we can use this system as not just for the delivery of a good, delivery of a package, but also to deliver an entire retail experience. So inside these vehicles, you can put coffee, you can put groceries, you can put clothes, you can put whatever you want, and this can become something that's like a mall in motion. It's a mall that it's coming to your house and it's delivering to you the entire experience that you generally have inside the mall. Even better, because it's a completely tailored solution for you. It's a completely customized solution. So we think that this system, the modularity of it, can can open a completely new market in terms of retail services. You can call it like an architecture in motion. You can put whatever you want inside because it's like a small room on wheels. So what are our competitors at the moment? We have, let's say, pseudo competitors and real competitors. The pseudo one, it's autonomous shuttles. Why pseudo? Because you can think about this system just as an autonomous shuttle, but it's not. I mean, it's capable, of course, to be autonomous where it's legal, but this is not our main goal, because we want to overcome the limitation of self-driving today. So we want to deliver a service at high speed with high capacity and going into the market really from day one into a mass market where legal vehicles can go on the road. So the real competitors are, for example, electric bus. And in terms of the cost of this system, we are trying to fit the same cost per passengers of electric bus. But the cost per passenger, it's not the only cost that you have for electric bus. Because, for example, to park an electric bus, to park a bus in general, you need customized parking places. To recharge an electric bus, you need a customized recharging infrastructure. So all these systems that you have for electric bus, they are not needed with our system, because you can split the vehicles and park the single modules in regular parking spaces, and you can charge them with regular charging systems, and you can even swap the batteries, so the charging time will be roughly 1 minute. A real competitor, it's ride-hailing. So doing ride-hailing with Tesla vehicles, or doing ride-hailing with regular internal combustion cars, it's something that it's comparable to what we do, but we do it in a much more effective way, an optimized way, because instead of having an average occupancy rate of 20%, we can reach 75% occupancy rate with a vehicle that can fit up to 10 people inside. So if you think about it, this will be done with the in-route transfer, the things that I showed you before. We can reach 3 times the capacity to move passengers in the same amount of time with less traffic generated. So this is a brief overview. You see that we are aligned with all the other vehicles. So we are self-driving ready, means that when it will be legal and where it's already legal, we can go on a self-driving mode. But we have something that no other vehicles have. So we have the modularity. So we can change the role of the vehicle, and we can change the capacity of the vehicle on the go. We act as exchange redistribution hub in motion that can drive the friction cost to 0. We can do the same with packages. We can also swap the batteries. So we can swap basically everything from one vehicle to the other. We can have services in motion, and we can optimize the passengers distribution inside on the go. This is to showcase how we compare to the competitors, of course. So you see that generally there is...
Tommaso, I just want to alert you that you ran out of time. I will let you finish, but you cannot take another 10 minutes.
Okay, don't worry. You see that generally you see a precise correlation between the price of the system and the comfort of the system. So you see that for the same comfort of a personal taxi, a personal Uber, here you have the cost of a multimodality system. So something that is generally much more stressful, like multiple public transportation systems. I will skip this slide, but it's again a comparison. We are much cheaper than the competitor. And you see here something very important that I will do very quickly, but what are our unique selling propositions? So we have a unique vehicle, we have unique algorithm, proprietary algorithms and simulation software to optimize the fleet. And we have also an application and a platform in which you can put your mobility service or your retail service or your delivery service. So you have the complete package, and all of this will lead to a specific market. This is the core team. It's a team half here in Italy and a part in US. Here in Italy, we are focusing on R&D manufacturing, and in US, it's mainly focused on business development and marketing. Thank you very much. Let me go to this, that it's the most important one.
Did you want to share the final thing as well that is now shared from your screen? Sorry, I thought you said that you were finished.
Yes, I finished. If you just want to leave this slide because there is some text and I didn't go through much deeply, it's the most important one. It summarizes what are our values and what are our business model.
Okay. Maybe we will refer to it through my questions. However, the question will start in a separate direction because as an investor, for me, there are 2-3 fundamental things that you didn't mention. How much are you raising today? What are your revenue streams? Where are you concentrating on? What are you going to use the money for? What is the use of funds? And where do you see the exit? Okay, so 4 questions, 1 minute each to answer.
Okay, so we are raising at the moment 2.5 million. And most of the money will be used to finalize the certification process. Because as I told you, we already did the first 2 fully functional vehicles. So we demonstrated that the technology is working. But to start selling these vehicles to all the cities that are already interested in having this, we don't just want to do small pilots like all the other self-driving shuttle does at the moment. So we want to completely certify and homologate the entire vehicles. This is the most expensive thing because you need to build many vehicles, and some of them you also need to crash it. Second question was related to
what is your revenue model? Because just to give you an example, you could put the vehicles in for free because you believe that the opportunity for the retail stores on wheels is the biggest, and you want to subsidize the vehicles, or you can lease the vehicles because you want to be able to take them back and upgrade them in hardware and software or any other ways, and you don't want the owners to hold on to them. Or the simplest, of course, where you just give a sticker price, each vehicle costs X, and anybody buying them are on their own.
It's very divided into the time frame, the business model. And if you share the screen, the slide that I had, it's clear. So let's say the first business model, it's related to the sponsorships. So this is something that we are doing, for example, here in Europe, in Italy, for the Dubai Expo 2020. That unfortunately it will be next year and not this year. But by the way, so the first revenue stream before certification, it's related to the sponsorship because it's a very futuristic vehicle, and it's in terms of marketing power, it's very good. Then after the certification, the revenue stream will be 3. First one will be selling the vehicles, because we've seen that it's the one that gives us revenues in a very short amount of time. And most of the cities that we encountered, they want to operate the vehicles. So the best solution is to just sell the vehicle to them. Then, of course, you can, when you have a reasonable amount of vehicles in the city, you can offer services that are paid on an yearly basis, like mobility optimization solutions that have inside our simulation software, our simulation algorithm, and also our, let's say, customization service. Because you see, it's like a Lego of mobility. So of course, every city have different requirements, and we can adapt the vehicles to them with this kind of a second business model. Third one, that in the long term it will be the one with much more revenues. It will be ticketing and transactions. So using our platform, you can of course buy the ticket to move from A to B, but you can also have inside the retail experience that I told you before. You can also have inside the services that can be delivered in motion or at home. Everything will go through this platform. So on one side, the advertising will be the driver for the revenues, and on the other side, it will be a small percentage on the transaction that connect the supplier to the final client, the final user.
Okay, before we go to the last question, which was about the exit, let me ask you, how much did you raise previously to the round that you are currently raising?
It's about 1.2 million.
And is the current round a priced round, or it is still a convertible basis?
We can decide with the investor. We are quite open to that.
Okay, and if the majority of the funds are going to be spent in the homologation of the vehicle,
Yeah.
I think you said, the certification of road readiness of the vehicle, isn't this something that you need to do in every jurisdiction where you will be selling? So how many jurisdictions are you targeting with the 2.5 million?
With the 2.5 million, we can do European certification, that it's the most strict in terms of crash worthiness.
Okay.
So we can then sell, of course, in the entire EMEA region. So here in Dubai, in Africa, so it will cover a very large amount of markets, and you can export to China too. China, it's even less strict in these terms. It will probably require the slightly more money to do the certification in US, but when you have the certification in Europe, you can do the certification in US much easily.
And then you will need another round of funding in order to actually start producing some of the vehicles in order to deliver them to the first customers. Is that correct?
Not really. I mean, the certification and homologation phase, I mean, in the 2.5 million, there will be also the industrialization funding, so to say. Because as you see, the design of the vehicle, it's very flat, it's very simple, it's very minimal. So we don't need the big funds that generally a company that build vehicles need. So we don't need 300 millions to start the first production phase. We can do it with much less.
Okay, that is certainly very interesting. And so let's go back to the question that I asked before. What do you anticipate the exit to be? Your investors want to become liquid on their investment with the appropriate and necessary multiples of financial returns. How do you going to deliver that?
The idea is with this 2.5 million and probably another slightly bigger round. The idea is to go to complete maturity of the product. So the product can be sold in terms of the vehicle itself, but also the company, because we already did everything that needs to be done to put the vehicle in the market. So the idea for an exit, of course, it's for the scale up. So the exit, the best exit will be with a big OEM that is capable to integrate our system in our business model to create, let's say, the futuristic part of it for smart cities and for new cities that want to overcome.
You mentioned the ability to move packages flexibly with a no-touch environment, which is, of course, pretty important. As I listen to startups at Network Society Ventures Pitching Live, one of my questions is always, how are you adapting to the pandemic scenario and a post-pandemic world? And in your case, package delivery is key. We will see, and nobody knows, so you don't know either, when and how we will be able to transport people in closed quarters, because as the first rules are implemented in various countries, like for example in your home base Italy, yeah, you couldn't transport more than one person per vehicle based on those regulations today. So Thank you very much for letting us hear about your project, and congratulations to what you achieved up to now. Good luck with meeting other investors as well. We will certainly look at both the materials that you have already provided, as well as ask additional questions and come back for a deeper due diligence. Of course, raising funds is just much more than the initial pitch, but this is a fun, interactive, and I hope useful platform, both for you as well as other startup participating, and to those who are following this live or reviewing it recorded. So thank you, Tommaso, again for being here with us today.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for watching Network Society Ventures Pitching Live. We will be back with new startups. Please don't hesitate to reach out on our website, on netsocc.vc. There is a specific page dedicated to Network Society Ventures Pitching Live. Let me show that on screen as well. And on that page, you can both watch past episodes, as well as you can click on a link to become a candidate, or to suggest other startups that you believe could be candidates to come on Network Society Ventures Pitching Live. Thank you very much, and see you on the next episode.